All right, okay, I gotta move in a little closer. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, we are live on here. A little mosaic there.
Hmm.
Oh my.
Almost like in a foggy room right now.
Yes, almost kind of remind me of an old VHS tape films. Uh, or better yet, I guess Paranormal Activity from the '80s third movie
Yeah.
before it cleared up.
Hmm.
Hey, wow, look at this camera. Hey, honey, which button is it?
To me, it's almost like we're in a foggy room from the 40s. A movie from the 40s.
Well, movies like Snow White, the original films did originate way back then. There,
Yeah,
yeah, Snow White, Cinderella, all that there.
yeah.
And then, of course, in the '90s and stuff, '80s and '90s, we started getting Little Mermaid, Lion King, and Aladdin and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're really pulling out live action of the Disney Vault there. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, how y'all doing? Let's say,
Hi, everyone.
yeah, we'll probably be saying it again as people start to come in there. But yeah, it's boy King Gabe here.
And this is Queen Tina.
Yeah, say of course let's say our special guest that I announced there, which yeah, um well I guess one reason why she's appearing a lot more clear than I because because she's so pretty.
Oh.
she's so pretty you can't the computer does not want to disrespect that.
Oh.
It's a very respectful computer. It's almost like the magic mirror.
Yeah.
It cannot lie. The fairest, I am only to say the truth. The fairest, your say of you, my queen, is only skin deep.
Hmm.
But that of Snow White is fair from within, in her heart. Yeah. The queen, her heart, huh? Okay. Huntsman, go bring her heart and put it in this box.
Her heart or her heart?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to answer that one there.
Referring to her heart. Like
Yeah, I know what
metaphorically,
I know what you mean there.
or a real heart.
I know
Yes.
what you know, but yeah, that's
Yes.
consider. We're talking about the queen, the evil queen here. Yeah, which my theory, since they cast pretty much might as well I know her name Gaga, I think.
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
So my theory is that after the Flash movie, because he was messing around with time and space and multiverse and all that, that he in tearing the fabrics of time must have done something to Wonder Woman, and apparently I guess she got sent here as the evil queen with no memory of being Wonder Woman.
Oh.
So
It's like they wiped her memory away.
maybe the mirror sent her back to the DC. Maybe the mirror she'll be reborn in James Gunn's DC universe.
Well, in the Flash movie, they did have a villain called Mirror Master, so I think Wonder Woman was into Mirror Master's dimension
Possibly.
in order to go into Snow White.
Possibly. Of course, it seemed like the magic mirror might. I think Mirror Master is more like with science, which I know Thor say that science and magic is one and the same where he's from, but I think the magic mirror still might have a different function than Mirror Master.
Oh.
Yeah, the, say of its enchantment there. Yeah, but so yeah, as you can tell, we went to see Snow White and everything. The live action remake. It was really good. really enjoyed say what we saw there. Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, Evil, and say, yeah, I know it was kind of hard. It was really difficult to not see the Evil Queen and keep and see Wonder Woman in
Yeah.
cock. But but despite that, that's just me. She gave a really good performance. Yeah, it did now being that way, it did not block me from seeing a good performance there.
Yes.
Yeah, so like you say, all everybody did their part, and also I like how one thing about these remakes is they really flesh out a lot of these stories. There, I know when they a lot of these stories first came out, it was and nothing against the original. Especially like Snow White, Aladdin, and all that. They are some real good movies. Uh, but there's nothing. But it's always good when like, hey, we're gonna do a remake of it when you flesh it out more. Just like 2017 Ducktales, and I know that's animated, and we're talking about live action here, but still, it's still a remake, and that's one thing you really should take advantage of when if you're doing a remake of some, flesh it out some. Maybe look at the original because you need do your homework. Look at the original, see what in there can be fleshed out. Make make a few changes if you have to. That's necessary because you don't want to cut and paste. You do want to keep some parts of the original to not deteriorate too much from it, but yeah, a kind of a balance between the nostalgia, a little something new, and expanding on that nostalgia. That's those are really important key components of remakes, reboots, and just creations like that in general in that type of feel. So they really did a good job on that there. Like I said, really, like I said, I really could see that. I've seen that with even the other remakes. Of course, there have been a few misses. Um, like I said, I do. Now I know a lot of people have passionate hate, like they just want to bash every remake that come. Like, dude, not all. It's like, come on now, it's not that bad now. But we'll get into that in a second. There, but for the most part, they are not they're not bad like a lot of people really be forming these hate trains on them there. And, that's not to make fun of them or anything, but it's just pointing that out there. And from what we see there. Um,
And and some people like they just bash the movie for no reason, even though it hasn't come out just yet.
mm,
They just give their own opinions about it, the casting, especially the casting. Like they should have just casted another person to be Snow White instead of a person in a who looks like she's Mexican.
it's the actress is Mexican.
Yeah, she looks Mexican,
Hmm. Well, I put it this way.
but she still bring a great performance as Snow
Mm.
White.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the important thing. Now, to an extent, and it kind of varies because I'm not because I don't want to say like, oh, they should only stick with the ethnicity and that's it because some, not every movie, but some movies you kind of can get by with that, all depending on who you cast and their performance there.
Yeah,
Um, like I say, and speaking of when you mentioned about the fact of her being Mexican,
yeah,
um, yeah, there is another kind of a little off subject, but it kind of made me think of another controversy with Avengers Doomsday coming up.
yeah.
People are complaining about Robbie Downey Jr. playing Doomsday because they say that Doomsday in the comics is supposed to be Romanian.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sort of. So I think sort like pretty much I think yeah, Romanian.
yes.
Yeah, so and they're like, why are you whitewashing him? Say,
And some people might think, why did you bring Robert Downey Jr. back to the Marvel universe, even though his character passed away in Endgame?
well, see that's well, see that's the whole for one, multiverse. For two, go see it. Then you'll know, and then you can have your little vlogs like we're doing with this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at least go see it. See, that's my issue. You know, yeah, just like what we're doing, people gonna do the same thing. They're gonna express, hey, I like this movie, or they're gonna say that they didn't like the movie. But I'm like this, and hey, did you see it first?
hmm.
See, if you saw it first, I mean, then yeah, because as I told certain somebody on my job, how can you really have a true opinion unless you've seen it? Seen the trailer. Yeah, the trailer just to get you to go see it, pretty much to see how
Yeah,
to see. Yeah, it's just only going to show you pieces and stuff, and you got to go see how those pieces lie together.
yeah. It pumps everybody up once they see the trailer and motivates them to just see the film in general to see what it's like
Mm-hmm.
when you see it in person.
Just like what EJ mentioned about with the Superman movie,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and we got one person coming to chat. Is the
One person?
oh yeah, and now they do. Okay, now they come, but yeah, like you say, if you come in, definitely. Let's get some likes in there too. Yeah, from as y'all come in, so like they say at the door.
Yes.
Uh, they like they check some like your ID stuff like that at the door stuff like that.
Yes.
Your invitation. I mean, sorry.
Oh, invitation.
Yeah. So in this case, your invitation is a thumbs up. Thumbs up and a like. Say easy to do. The minute you come in, you see the little thumb here,
Yeah.
wherever it is on your screen, depending on if you're on your phone or your computer or laptop or iPad. Yeah, wherever that. Just look for that thumb. Like there you go.
I know we're supposed to start around 8 and 8:30, but we were a little late, but we apologize for that.
Yeah, kind of. Well, for one thing, we saw. Yeah, like yeah. Well, not only just seeing the movie and being out for the day, but also yeah, kind of. I made a few other posts on there on the channel, like a couple of my other shorts posted around, and then I also posted the third book of Yumiko being out that is available. So I was posting around about it, so people can make orders for that there,
Mm.
along with the other two Yumiko books and other books that we got, Star Striker, Bubble and all that. So yeah, I was making that post around, and of course, in the process, I did get some feedback.
Hmm.
Uh, Mostly, like I say, hopefully, like I say, they're like okay, yeah, let's get a copy of that. Um, but there's some on there. I don't know what it is. They want they want to like hey, let's sell you promotion and stuff. What we're pretty much what you're already doing, spreading
Yeah.
it around. And okay, they probably now. I'm pretty sure they probably they in order for them to do that, like have their little promotion business and stuff. That's probably that's probably legit. They probably got some system that they use, with their other clients and stuff like that, and that's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. My only thing is, you know, just like how I posted around, like YouTube, Facebook, and the group pages. See, I don't go to people's individual Facebook page. Like, just say you post something about, hey, this is my cat today, and he did this. I wouldn't go in your post comment section and post about my book there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's just unnecessary.
yeah, it don't even so with my thing is okay, post your promotion. Hey, we promote authors stuff like that. Post it in the group and on your page, your personal Facebook page and the group page, and let people come to you. just like how we have to let people come to us for our books and stuff. Yeah, let people come to jump into their comment section like that there. Yeah, unless you finna buy a book there. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's so. Like my folks always say, time and place for everything. Yeah,
Yes.
so there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. It's just ill time there.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the way they're doing it that's a little irritating there. So, but yeah, they're out there. Um, yeah, $7 a book. Um, Especially in a lot of y'all probably outside the Shreveport area. We have to probably mail it to you guys. So, uh, be right at. Let me check what I put there. I know I got it posted. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Ah, right here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, $7, and like I say, if I got to ship that or maybe other books out, uh, $3 shipping and handle per copy. So yeah, like I say, you just order one book, then that's an additional $3 for the shipping and handling. You order, just say like five books, then the shipping and handling would be like $15 there,
Mm.
in addition to the five books you're buying. So yeah, to cover the shipping costs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all that is there. Yes, I post. So that was kind of thing. Yeah, there was some engagement on that there. On that, I had to answer while trying to get set up and all that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was all it is. Then I guess it go into. I guess the first. Let's see, the first thing to go into about the movie. Maybe start with the beginning of it, like the king, about the king and queen.
Yes.
Say, yeah, they had. I think you mentioned that it sort of made you think of Jesus there.
Well, the storyline of Jesus, of how, of like, for example, Snow White is trying to restore her kingdom, and Jesus' point case, he's trying to restore the world because we all need salvation after our wrongdoings in life. So Jesus paid the price by dying for us, so we
Right.
don't have to so we don't have to perish once our time comes. We don't have to perish anymore. We will be at home with Him.
Right. So sort of had a little inspiration from how Jesus was and everything there. Say, especially Snow White herself, and she got that from her parents there, because her parents really mingled with the people and everything. Sort of, they weren't just up there and all up on the high horses or anything like that. They would come out the castle, but yeah, doing what's up.
And one thing about them is they are not selfish or treat
Mhm.
people mean, and as well as bragging about I'm more powerful and richer than you all,
Yeah, they were
and making
really
fun of the people.
exactly. They were, and they considered the people very important to the kingdom. Man.
Yes.
You know, yeah, like they without them, there wouldn't be a kingdom there.
Hmm.
Um, Even give even like having little stuff for them, like little bake sales, stuff like that.
Yes.
Giving them baked goods at times there.
I also like the imagery too, especially the colors,
Oh yeah, very kind of really vibrant.
the vibrant colors, as well as the different people, the ethnicities, all in one.
Ah yes, yeah, that was they. It seemed like that's been an interesting thing in the remakes recently. Like even Little Mermaid really was heavy on that one there. The mixing things up a bit there. um, Little Mermaid. They did that a little bit with Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
like remake, and and yeah, you could say, and I think probably a little bit in Aladdin, because you had Will Smith as the genie.
Yes.
So yeah, Yeah, they really, um, and we know live action Lilo and Stitch ain't gonna have no problem doing that because I mean, even the original, you had bubbles there.
Yeah, I noticed I feel a Cinderella vibe when I first saw the movie.
Oh, yeah.
When the evil queen enters and treats Snow White as her slave.
Yeah, they.
Except there's no stepsisters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Only the evil queen.
I was sort of seeing, yeah, that I was seeing that. It's like, yeah, they took kind of, they sort of took a little bit from Cinderella there.
Yeah, and ironic that her mom passed. Same goes
Mhm.
with Cinderella's mother, and then her father passed.
Right, and which we'll get to that. But yeah, there was a shocking twist of what happened to as far as the dad's death there.
Because I see one person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man. Yeah, definitely give a thumbs up there as you coming in there.
Oh, look like that for one person left.
Okay. It's like, oh, hoping ain't somebody trolling us there.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, that's the yeah. But yeah, because you got some that will do that. That's almost like ding dong door dash. Like ring the doorbell, you come answer the door, nobody's there.
Almost like a ghost.
Hmm. It seems that way, but yeah, it'd be somebody pulling a prank there.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you, if it was a ghost, man, you get out of there. You get as Sonic say, you get out of there.
Hmm. Even though ghosts don't have physical forms, they could tamper with stuff without even knowing
Hmm. Pretty much, just ask Casper's uncles.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Since they go through stuff.
Uh, yep. So they definitely had a Cinderella vibe. A lot of yeah, like I said, that mother had and I saw they saw it had the whale that Snow White and her parents were looking into. Definitely. Now actually Enchanted, the movie Enchanted that came out in 2010, which was
Well, actually, Enchanted came out in 2007.
okay, I'm sorry. Wait, you said
Talking about the Enchanted movie,
mhm.
it came out in 2007. The first Enchanted movie.
Oh, okay, you sure?
Yeah, the Enchanted in 2007.
Okay, because I'm trying to think. Reading. I'm kind of thinking. Wow, well, okay, maybe not 2010, but the reason I was kind of like, wait, what on 2000? Because I was thinking in terms of like, you and I first met in '06, and we started dating in March of '07 there.
I remember the live action. I remember Enchanted was released on my birthday.
In '07 there.
Yes,
Oh,
and we
okay.
may have saw it in the theaters.
Okay, say on your birthday, huh?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let me just double check that just to make sure. But what I was about to say about Enchanted, I think Enchanted pulled a lot of references from the original Snow White movie.
Yes, as well as other Disney movies.
Hmm. But in the, okay, it was 2007. But it did a lot. But I think Snow White was where they pulled the most stuff.
Yes.
Like the singing like the animals, whistle while you work. Now that is a working song. The whale, but only difference in Enchanted, she got pushed down it there.
Ouch.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Lee. Oh, okay. She not gonna end up in New York. Now. Oh, it was on your birthday.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. As High School Musical say, that was a night to remember. It's gonna be a night. So, yep. So, yeah, pretty. Yeah, I saw a lot of work, a lot of stuff that Enchanted had used from Snow White in there. Um, with that, what else was it? Oh yeah. But yeah, and then the father. I also when the father left before his demise.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, and also forgot to mention spoilers because we're pretty much giving everything we saw in the movie.
Yeah,
Uh, but before that father left, it was like the vibe of Beauty and the Beast when the father left. Belle left to go travel.
except in Beauty and the Beast, her father is still alive,
Oh yeah,
and they didn't mention about Belle's mother.
yeah, and then another reference was right back to Cinderella because their father, uh, which only did, and another different, the stepmother didn't kill the dad. It
Yeah,
was, I think something just happened to him there
I think he just died of natural causes in Cinderella.
while he was away or something like that.
Yes,
So yeah, yeah, definitely. And also Lion King vibes since we find out that the stepmother is the one that killed the father in the end.
yes, the evil queen.
Right. So you got some Lion King vibes, but a female version of it. And here's my little secret. I killed Mufasa. No! Murderer! No, Simba, please.
And he had to glow by revealing his secret.
Yeah.
That's what villains do. They tend to glow
Yes.
until they accidentally
Spilled
spill the beans of their plan.
It's like
It's almost like a confession.
Predic Megatron, leader of the Predacons, once said, you're teaching me a valuable lesson. Sometimes Predacons glow too much.
Hmm.
Translation of the villains glow too much.
Depending on who they are.
Mhm.
And I know Snow White believes that her father is still alive.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, for until the end of that movie came and she put two and two together there.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, definitely had a Cinderella vibe with that. Um, yeah, I kind of see why. Um, like I say, I don't know who I would have casted as the evil queen, but I kind of see what they were going for, picking someone like Gal there,
Yeah.
because because it's the evil queen, appearance wise. Now, of course, she's an ugly person on the inside, she's evil queen. But appearance wise, yeah, she was beautiful,
Yes.
and
Until she drank the potion and made herself really old and made her literally
disguised as an
ugly.
old woman.
Yes, literally ugly.
Yeah, to try to trick Snow White there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, she was a bombshell, and but she was jealous of how Snow White was so kind and everything, and people were liking her more.
Speaking of kindness, I know in the Cinderella movie they mentioned like the mother from Cinderella say, "Have courage, be kind." When she
Yes,
tell that to Cinderella before she passed. Have
yeah, that's
courage,
all
be
that.
kind, and sometimes it's hard for us to have courage and be kind, depending on the situation we are in.
Yeah.
And I myself gone through that in my life.
Oh yeah, they
Don't have the courage, and sometimes it's hard to be nice to people. Like you tend to have resentment towards that person.
without like you saw Launch Pad said about being a hero. The truth way of being a hero is being one when it's anyone can be one when it's easy, but it's say when it's hard, that's the real challenge.
Yes,
Say so it's be the same with being kind there.
yeah.
Say so yeah that was what Snow White had to do there.
Well, being good easy, but pleasing people is hard. Pleasing
Hmm.
people, your goodness and generosity is hard, depending on the person you try to please to.
Even somebody who's mistreating you there.
Yes,
Yeah, that's another, like you said about the Christian values in it, because I mean we know that's what Jesus was all about.
yeah. With Jesus, he let people in, even though there are some people who just doesn't deserve to be in his inner circle, his social circle.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
He letting them in instead of shunning
he's
them.
giving them a, yeah, opening the door for them, and it's up to, but they have to choose to come in there.
Yeah. I know there are some groups out there tend to just shun people in general. Some groups that they don't want to help them. They just shun them out of their lives
Mm-hmm.
without without talking to them or helping them and treating them like they're dead.
Yeah, or like they're insignificant there.
Yeah.
So
Or
yeah,
unimportant.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that yeah, that kind of was the thing with the evil queen there. Um, which pretty much was like turned animated. And remember, if any of y'all checked out the EJS channel, you would know the short that he did pertaining to Snow White about the evil queen. He in his opinion, he said that the magic mirror was the true villain,
Yes.
exposing Snow White there. But yeah, the fact, yeah, she was when he was in the, yeah, I got the easiest job in the world. That's like she, but even with the little headpiece and everything, she no good. When she keep asking me who the fans gonna mirror me, I gotta go.
I know every time the magic mirror say Snow White is the fairest of them all, the evil queen gets jealous
Yep.
and implying to kill her, and
Yeah.
that's a part of her
And it's
being jealous of Snow White.
sort of like King Saul being jealous of David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's another. Yeah. It's a lot of it's a lot of biblical references in there. Biblical reference from between the Queen and Snow White there.
And there's also biblical references in other Disney movies as well we don't even know about
Probably so.
until you look at it again.
Yeah, and that's one thing YouTubers Octocruel pointed out. They stated how like they even and they did admit that they are not Christian, but they have high respect for Christians though,
Yeah.
and they really enjoy movies like Ten Commandments, Prince of Egypt, stuff like that. They and the stories in the Bible because they think they're cool. Like, yeah, it's a lot of cool. It's like, yeah, I'm not really like Christian man, but there's a lot of cool stuff about like different stories, and then they reference a lot of that when they make these different movies and stuff. It's just really awesome, man.
I give them credit for giving those movies a chance.
Oh yeah, and who knows, because of their optimism towards it, hey, that's sometimes that it's a chance that even that one day, like, hey, maybe we should just, yeah, hey bro, maybe we should accept Christ. I mean it doesn't seem bad or anything. Yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, I guess hey, doors open, guys. Walk right over these. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll be a couple, two more souls to Christ there.
Yeah.
Yep. And see that, like I say, one thing, one thing about kindness, because I mean that will encourage people, especially lost souls, to come to Christ there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that showing them an act of kindness there.
Yeah. And I know Snow White and Cinderella are good examples of showing people kindness,
Mm-hmm.
as well as respect too.
Yep. Yes, it is. Oh yeah, I was just checking it. Checking to see who. Okay, I did message them. Yeah. Okay. All right, but
Yeah.
so yeah, with that, so of course the evil queen, and they say she had like these different powers from her beauty and stuff, like the beauty she had. Oh, and that was another thing EJ pointed out, which was kind of wow. Like this, this queen, she like a full grown woman, and you jealous of a little girl. Now I don't know how old they portrayed Snow White for the live action. I'm not completely sure. Because adaptations will change some things sometimes, from time to time. Animated, the animated version I remember looking up about like the age of different princesses.
Yes.
The animated one, despite how because of course this was early animation, and
Yes.
also people in real life looked like you see teenagers nowadays how they look and stuff.
Yes.
Like they look real young and stuff. But you look at a teenager, say like your parents as teenagers, like look, there's some of their high school pictures. They almost look like they right at being a grown, like they in their early 20s already.
Yes.
So this explains why some of the animation, despite whatever style they may have used, why a lot of time it will be the way it is. Like, oh, so Snow White, and a lot of these princesses were like around high school age.
Like 16, for example.
Even though they look like they were
Young adults.
right.
For their age.
hmm but I think a lot of people just were real mature for their age back this time period there, early years there, because of the different lifestyles going on back then.
Yes, that's why they look mature for their age.
hmm
I assume the Snow White and the anime version it might be 16.
Probably,
At
yeah.
most.
And you see like and then plus the animation done for her movie way back then was almost like a painting style.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so and that's why you had a lot of those illustrations, like the scary stuff in the forest there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically painting anime, like what they use for greatest adventure stories from the Bible.
Yeah, I think the first Snow White and the anime version took place in the 30s. I think it was made in the 30s.
Okay.
And then Pinocchio is in the 40s.
Yes, and that's why Pinocchio, and then Peter Pan. You notice Wendy, she's supposed to be like 10 years old, and she looked like she in high school.
She looked more like a preteen.
Okay, well,
I would say 13 or 14.
close to high school, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because the way she was developed and her way her animation style made her look there.
Yeah.
But yeah, because and then plus naturally the way Wendy behaved there.
Yeah, she's mature.
She had a very mature behavior there.
Like they all say, some cases girls mature faster than boys.
And ironically, she's looking after two younger brothers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course they got their parents. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, like just the three of them. Yeah, it's most pretty much having to be the voice of reason in the siblings there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was so. So of course, yeah, the evil queen got the brother Huntsman to get her. I'm surprised they didn't cast Idris Elba for this Huntsman now.
He looks similar to him, but it's not him.
Yeah, it would have been that. Yeah, I kind of was. That's who I kind of was imagining when I saw how his character was portrayed. I was like, this seemed like this. They should have had this role in Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I was thinking of was the gatekeeper from Thor. Be fast. Or another role that Idris Elba could have played in this movie.
Yes.
He could have played the Magic Mirror.
Oh.
Because yeah, it would have
his voice.
Yeah, and it would have been a lot because the Magic Mirror is a lot similar to the gatekeeper role.
Oh, it does.
You are the fair one, my queen. He got the voice. The man is amazing that he does the voice. His voice for the gatekeeper. And they're both mature voices, but he actually has a difference in how they sound between the gatekeeper and Knuckles.
Yeah.
I will tear you apart, hedgehog, and I'll tell you. They are tails. Dot 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 dot. What? So So yeah, so going to yeah, of course the huntsman can't bring himself to kill Snow White, unalive her.
Especially after he looked at her.
Cause, and she was, and like, would you like some? Yeah, it's like, don't get me. It'd be like if you was out. If it'd be like if somebody asked you to kill Starfire from the Teen Titans.
Yeah, especially when you looked at her, especially when she looked sad.
Like, he's like, hey, would you like some of these? Is something wrong? Huh? Yeah.
Don't get me started in the modern day when somebody try to kill you at gunpoint and you look at them in a sad way.
And don't forget frightened.
Yeah,
Oof.
so nerve, especially sad and nervous at the same time,
Mm.
that you don't want to kill that person. And
Yeah,
your hands is shaking that you had to drop the gun.
and not to mention, like the way this guy was a huntsman. They say, when the evil queen took over,
Yeah,
a lot of the people in the land, like the not all of them, but she took certain commoners and made them into soldiers.
well, I think the narrators say that they were farmers when
Farmers.
the king and queen ruled, and when the original king and queen ruled, and when the evil queen took over, the farmers had turned into her soldiers.
Yeah.
That they lost their that they lost their memories completely of what their lives were. And the narrator mentioned that Snow White herself, she just lost a piece of herself, like she doesn't know who she was,
Now I
like she can't
wonder.
figure out who she was,
Hmm,
like she's
Now,
trying to find herself.
now I wonder, could be partly because they said the evil queen had some magic there,
Yeah,
and one thing, and I know one thing that is been stated about the evil queen in Snow White lore, like going back to the animated movie, she was. They say the evil queen was kind of an alchemist there,
oh yeah, and now
sort of like Professor Banner in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
yeah, she can be a witch.
In a yeah, I put it this way, she would probably be similar to Yzma.
Yeah,
So Yzma had all those potions and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like science, like the science in more so than more so than incantations. There,
yeah. I wonder if she wiped their memories
it's a possibility.
and
Maybe
caused them to separate from their families.
it's possible because they did say she was granted some magical abilities.
Yeah,
Even she still used potions and stuff, but she did have some magic in her,
yeah,
and so so it looked like she used a cross between science and magic there,
yeah,
which, as we know, in most cases back in like back in that time period, stuff like that, especially don't get me started if you go to an Amish place, science is pretty in their perspective, it is magic.
if you're in the Amish community.
Amish and that time and just the time period in general.
Don't get me started with electricity since the Amish don't use electricity.
Yeah, they it does make me wonder. I mean, I guess maybe they never because I mean there is a way to get it from lightning naturally, isn't it? Without like a natural way from lightning there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if maybe they've tried that there.
Mm.
So I know that's how Benjamin Franklin discovered the light with the key on the kite.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, not completely sure the details of how that went down, but I know that's what I've heard there.
Yeah. I think Edison also developed electricity too. Thomas
It,
Edison.
it may have possibly been. It may have been after Benjamin Franklin,
Yeah.
because yeah, he would have. But maybe the electricity discovery would have had to been present for him to create the light bulb there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Funny thing about Benjamin Franklin. When Garfield was talking about everybody having a cat there,
Yeah.
that Garfield said he sketched a pot belly stove.
Yeah.
Go fly a kite, Franklin.
Shit.
So I guess that's why he went out with the kite.
Yes. And all of Garfield's ancestors look just like him. All of his ancestors.
I guess. Oh wait, that's before. That was before, but I guess that kind of started the logic of Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny.
Yeah. It is surprising they don't have no male members in their families.
That we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, the huntsman is like, run! She wants me to kill you. You must flee. Run!
Run and never return.
Yeah, sort of similar to the Lion King with Scar, but only different than Lion King. Scar told it to Simba, trying to pretty much gaslight him. Well, not gaslight, but just straight up lie to him.
Yeah.
Of course you can. But the king is dead. And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive.
Mm.
Run away, Simba. Run. Run away and never return. And then that came, and just like Lion King, both Simba and Snow White brought that right back around to their abusers there.
Mm.
And it's like, run away, Scar, and never return. Snow White told the evil everybody was rose up against the evil queen. Run away, and don't you ever come back. Yeah. But of course, like Scar, they're gonna leave their own demise.
Yeah.
So you can't say the hero didn't give him a chance to just, okay, get out of here.
I know she ran through the dark forest until she discovers a deer, and then the dark forest turns into the most beautiful forest with a whole lot of animals. And speaking of the animals, they almost look more human-like. Well, especially their facial expressions.
Oh yeah, because of the animated movie. Yeah, they
Yeah,
wanted to. And say, they wanted to give us some pretty animals there.
yeah. They almost look they almost look more human.
Just imagine if you saw some real animals in the, well, like so some real animals in general smiling at you, like,
Mhm. Especially if they come near me, especially when they come to me.
like say the cats, for instance.
Yeah,
Meow.
and they want to lick me.
Hmm.
Or dogs want to come up to me.
Oh yeah, smile at you there.
Yeah,
Mm, say, like say EJ and Casey's dogs there.
or a bird just come to my finger. Yeah, and if they weren't deceased, I would kiss them on the forehead.
Oh yeah, with the because wild in real life, the wild, you never know what they've
Yeah,
gotten a hold of there.
but I would pet the birds,
Yeah.
especially the doves, since doves represent peace.
Yep, a symbol of Jesus there.
Hmm.
Yep. So yeah, they had that. Yeah, Snow White, when she would sing, the animals would come to her and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And of course, they led her to the dwarf's house,
and I know she was so tired that she took herself a nap in the dwarf's bed.
almost like Little Red Riding Hood, except she didn't eat their food though.
No,
She just fell asleep there.
yeah, she was after what she'd been through, picking the apples and stuff, and ran to the forest.
She was doing a lot of running, that's for sure.
Yeah, and she might be wearing heels or low end heels. Who knows?
And
But she did run fast.
I gotta give her, even if she, I mean, she could have been, but even if she wasn't in heels,
Yeah,
still gotta give her credit having to. I mean, especially on a spur of the moment like that,
yeah.
and she don't even know how far to go.
Mm.
Yeah, she, like I say, just took off, and I'll say it's about, and yeah, since she arrived at the house, we know the dwarfs.
Yeah, the seven dwarfs.
Oh yeah, they now this I think this is where I know there was some complaints about which big surprise. They pretty surprised complaints about a lot of live action movies,
Yeah.
but this particular movie, I know there were complaints about the dwarfs and may because I heard there were controversies. Um, this I think it was one of them was the fact that people as I heard people commenting talking about why did they just cast actual
Actual dwarves
people that actually were small there like that.
instead of CGI normal people.
Well, I tell you, nothing against actually doing that,
Yeah.
but let me put this let me put it like this: people, small people, no offense,
Yeah.
small people, not very. It's not like say, they're out there, but it's sort of like trying to find a rare Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're or put it this way. I'm right now. I'm playing an early Pokemon game on my phone,
Yes.
and I'm in Rock Tunnel. One of the hikers in the game say that Onyx appear there occasionally. So as you're running through it, you'll find Geodudes and Zubats and stuff very easily.
Yeah.
But you have to it's gonna be a long time. Or Mount Moon, Clefairies,
Yeah.
they do not pop up easily.
They don't.
You have to be running around for a long time, and just when you least expect it, dun dun, quickly, Clefairy. Yeah, and seize the opportunity because you might not see her again.
Hmm.
So that's the way it is with like the small people. It's amongst all the people we have here on Earth, like me and Christina, normal
Yeah.
size stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be very rare that you'll find them. They're out there, but it's going to be very rare that it's not they're not you don't run across them as easily as other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not like okay, well for this role, I want somebody that say like me for example, uh, we need somebody with a bald head that's kind of plump and has a mustache and some glasses. Uh, oh, how about you? What's your name? I'm Gabriel. Oh yeah. Okay, you play this role. Okay, now we need some. We need a woman. Um, kind of got some abnormal features, but she's still pretty. Uh, how about you? So, yeah, it's not quite as easy as that kind of casting there.
Hmm.
So that's from my observation of why maybe they didn't. I mean, it would have been nice if they did, but maybe it's not an easy find, and it could also be made just as this is an assumption.
Yeah.
Maybe the people involved because they nowadays they be trying to be so careful when they make movies in general.
Yeah.
They're the people that make movies are trying to be so careful not to offend because when we first started making stuff in the early days, people they did stuff. A lot of us like say me and you
Yeah.
would see it, wouldn't really think much of it, but then another person would look at it, especially in today's time.
Yeah.
That's offensive. Like, what are you talking about? Power Rangers. They say, why did you cast the black guy as a black ranger and an Asian as a yellow ranger?
Hmm.
That's so offensive. You're racist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, okay. So you're upset about the color matching these two ethnicities, but uh, 20, pretty much not too long. I think like between 2018 February, we get the Black Panther movie,
Yeah.
and Black Panther's been in the comics ever since the early days.
Hmm.
And we get our first live action Black Panther movie in this time period of people being so picky about that kind of stuff, and nobody bats an eye about that. Black Panther's movie come out. Here we quick to say, Wakanda forever.
And
Black
everybody
Panther,
was hyped about it.
Black Panther, Black Panther.
And they were all hyped
Mhm.
about it.
And I bet you some of these same people, some not maybe not all of them, but some of these same people that praised Black Panther were probably the ones that were upset about a black guy as the Black Ranger.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the difference? They're both wearing black and they're both African American.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Hmm.
Why one get the flag and the other doesn't?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so kind of makes it a little hypocritical there, don't you think?
So,
Say. So yeah, I'm just saying, like I mean, like you say, just a food for thought, a little something, as they say, a little something to kind of think of before you be quick to jump before you quick to jump the gun on something. Just think about it first. Think about that.
when I look at the dwarves, it looked like they were AI.
Oh yeah, because like the face of, but
Yeah.
it's a but it's actually it's a pretty good job. And like I say, you saw all those people listed in the
Credits. Yeah.
yeah, because this ain't like if they used they probably I think some people say they did maybe they did,
Yeah.
but I'll bet you that was not that AI that they probably used.
Yeah.
That wasn't like see See, I got apps on my phone
Yeah.
that create stuff like that. Y'all seen some of my thumbnail, most all my thumbnails. I made me and Christina look like Snow White and the Prince. Captain America had all of us dressed like Captain America. AI, that was AI photos, and they look really good. Then you cut and paste them and put them any way you want on the phone. Looks good, decent. But you know what? But there's a diff. But I'm not gonna. But there's one. As good as they look, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that that's not as good as they look good for common use.
Yeah.
So I would not expect a big budget movie to use what I use in my phone.
Yeah.
So that's why I said all them people they listed. Yeah, this was they had to really even if it's obvious that it's AI, they still had to have this thing perfected where you have like the shadows of the dwarfs and stuff like that when they move in certain places, interacting with Snow White and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much like what they do with CGI, like with Sonic, Sonic and let's see what else. There was something
Oh,
else that was really was it.
what about Detective Pikachu?
Yes, that was a perfect yeah. So Sonic and Detective Pikachu, perfect examples of integrated CGI. Because I mean, they had like the shadows of them and everything. When you see details like that, that's some hard that is not easy stuff to integrate there.
You gotta say more about the Transformers movies and the Ninja Turtles. You gotta say more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. I would say yeah. And like I say, people, you got people that criticize those movies, but you do have people. They do have their fan base, especially Transformers. Uh, but a lot of people criticize Ninja Turtles, how they looked and they don't look right and stuff. But I mean, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that, and I was really impressed how they integrated their CGI.
Mm.
Because some people complain about, well, and I do like the original with the costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is they're like, well, yeah, that was more bitter, and this CGI stuff is fake. Ain't nothing there. Well, I mean, it's like, okay. Oh boy, yeah. So, but but it's integrated. But yeah, it's a perfect example of how stuff like CGI is integrated. And now, you say like they say the AI, they doing is doing the same with that, similar to the CGI.
Mm.
They integrate this stuff in really well. It's like taking what I do on my phone and dialing it up 1,000.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, you're making a full feature film. You're not just making a YouTube short or a thumbnail. So, yeah, you got. So they using some pretty big version stuff of what I got.
Mm.
No, that yeah, I will not deny that there, because it was impressive. Much and like you just said, much like the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, they even had like reflections and stuff
Yeah.
when they was in the elevator scene. MC Mikey. Yeah, and even you take movies. Yeah, I might. Yeah, and y'all might be a little upset me saying this, but even like the Chipmunks,
Yeah.
Alvin and Chipmunks did a good job with that.
Yeah.
hmm So yeah, I guess that was they did a really good job with those dwarfs. Um, they kind of stole the show a little bit.
Oh yeah, the dwarves.
Even just the first scene when pretty much captivating what we've seen in the animated movie.
Almost remind me of children.
Oh yeah, like little children
Their
playing.
behavior.
Oh yeah, like children playing the roles of grown men.
Yes. I
That
think Doc is the oldest in the group, and Dopey's the youngest since Dopey is the only one who doesn't have a beard.
hmm,
I noticed that.
yeah. Well, now as impressive as the effects were, it's just a what if right here. I'm just pointing out something.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did like say okay they can't find small people or maybe the ones they get turn them down or something like that.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just went out um, some kind of way and made it work with children and had them dressed up like the dwarfs.
Yeah.
Imagine that there,
Hmm.
like some really like some small kids there.
Yeah.
I would say that are at least kind of of a like upper elementary stuff like that, or probably middle school, and have them dressed up like these dwarfs
Hmm.
with the beards and all that. There, some and maybe I would say in their case to kind of save on having the kids having to wear a whole bunch of heavy makeup.
Yeah.
Do what they did to Nick Fury when they made him young, but in their case, make them look old.
Oh.
Yeah, they could do something like that, or just like you say, maybe the dwarves might look childish like the elves and Santa Claus.
Yes.
Because I mean that worked out really well.
Well, the seven dwarfs almost remind me of a male versions of Ariel's sisters, because I know Ariel is the one who stands out of the group. Same goes with Dopey. He's the one who stands out from the group since he's
Oh yeah, because
different than the rest of them.
yeah, and I think Dopey may have been. This is just in my opinion here. I think Dopey might have been. If they might have been hinting at Dopey being autistic there because of his how the nonverbalness and his behavior until the end of the movie.
As well as his behavior in general being clumsy, but not stupid, just clumsy.
Yeah, because he seemed like he was. Because yeah, that's the thing. With being autistic, they're real knowledgeable,
Yeah.
but they just have different ways that they function. That's all that is. And to other people of the norm, you know, they is it the norm doesn't really fully understand what's the deal with them there.
Yeah. And there was a scene that I think Grumpy accidentally threw his hammer, and then it hit at one of the doors, and then they start to fight, and then something hits Dopey so hard, and that the dwarves tend to laugh at Dopey. That hit him close to home, that he just ran out of the house crying. It's starting to remind me of me at times when
Oh,
I get made fun at. That I just want to run out and cry, or just somebody hurt me in general. That I just don't want to see them anymore.
there's no way you had to kind of
Yeah,
reach out to them there.
yeah, and people try to reach out to me, even though I just want to be alone.
Sort of like the vice versa, me and you.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. So yeah. He kind. Yeah. It's sort of like like we're kind of just kind of like this. So kind of a relatable, kind of bit relatable there.
that scene when Snow White reaching out to Dopey remind me of a mom reaching out to her son.
Oh yeah.
Like, did the kids make fun of you?
Yeah, and then and since you mentioned they did seem to have a childish behavior despite the fact that they were like over 200 something years old.
Yeah,
and even had beards and stuff, except for Dopey.
Yeah.
Um, that could the childish behavior, yeah, explains a lot because yeah, I mean you think about it, a lot of time, just like with the doors, when kids start acting like that amongst each other and they're like, especially boys,
Yeah.
um, not saying, I mean it's possible you might get this with girls, but mostly boys, like Juan, like me and my cousins or something like that. Yeah, where it's kind of in them, most of them, to roughhouse with each other,
Mm.
and a lot of time now, I know there are cases of bullying, but a lot of time, especially like if they're brothers or they hang out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, to them, when they start getting that way, like, hey, to them, in their mind, they're thinking of it as them just goofing around and playing on each other.
Yeah.
Uh, Whereas, somebody else, like the odd person in the group, would um would take it differently there.
It is heartwarming when Snow White teach Dopey how to whistle
Oh yeah,
before before he knows how to speak and stuff. But it is a start. Trying to make him more open.
oh yeah,
Yes. By
yeah. Whistle,
whistling.
whistle. Why? And that leads to the song "Whistle While You Work." There.
Yeah. And Snow White also teach the dwarves how to respect one another.
Yep. Yeah, and legitly they seem like they actually were not aware of what their behavior was like.
Yeah.
And with Snow White kind of pointed, politely, pointed that out to them,
Yes.
and it was like they learned something new
Hmm.
because yeah, it was so they were used to just pretty much being any old way. They
Yeah.
weren't bad people. It's just like you say, they just had a childish nature there,
And some of them were misunderstood.
as Grumpy say.
Yes.
And she from and yeah, I like yeah, she kind of because Grumpy surprisingly had a moment that he cried there.
Yes, especially when Snow White passes.
Yeah, and was like no yeah, Grumpy, I think Grumpy might have a point. Huh?
And there is a heart in Grumpy.
Yeah, it's like Shrek. I think he's like the Shrek of the group.
And I think there was a scene where Happy was a little sad.
Oh, it's sort of like Joy and Inside Out.
Yeah. Like like there is more than one emotion in these different emotions, more than one.
Despite their names and stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think the names were given because maybe these. I don't think it means that that's the only trait they have. I think it's the trait that they display the most.
Yes.
Yeah. So and because of that, I get you get that little tension moments there. Sort of like even the like you think the Teen Titans, remember when they were when Starfire was like, Happy Blorthog, come on, baby, give me the controller.
Yeah.
It's my turn. And they stop, knock it off. I can't concentrate with you two acting like idiots. That's great, Robin. More yelling will stop all the yelling. Ugh. Yeah, and so yeah, it's kind of like that. And then they, because they pointed like this is typical. Like we're just getting on each other's nerves a little bit. It's typical roommate stuff.
Yeah, same goes with families in general.
Yep. Say,
Families could relate to that too.
because that does happen. I mean, take me and my cousins. Say one. No one that one. My youngest. Well, not the youngest. Not talking about Tiffany because, like I said, I mentioned her on the channel before.
Yeah.
But the one in the middle of me and Tiffany. Yeah, we. Like I said, not saying we don't get along, but we've had a lot of button head moments. I think we had the most button head moments out of the rest of the siblings there. Out of us, the four of us main cousins, the two of us were the main ones, and we sort of were like the dwarves when they started roughhousing, and then and I guess Tiffany would be like the female Dopey that ran out. Instead, only difference with Tiffany, she ran out like, Granny, they fighting again. And then she come in there. Oh, what? She's like, no, 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 Grandma, we ain't fighting. We're not fighting, Grandma. We good. We good.
I think Snow White mentioned like since he dwarfs lived like over 200 years, it took like it's 200 years is a long time for you guys arguing like that.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Well, I guess that's all you know. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I
I
say,
guess the more you argue, the closer you are.
yeah, all varies on who it is there.
Yes.
Because yeah, sometimes that's how people's relation are there.
For being being with that same person for so long.
Yeah, like I say, and it varies on how it is because you got you got cases like say my granny and Big Papa, like oh my goodness, man, move it over there. Yeah, just like your basic little disputes, yeah, little minor basic disputes and stuff like that. But then you got the cases where okay, maybe we might need a little counseling or something
Yeah.
before this gets worse. Yeah, like it, getting out of hand or something like that, like something like really major.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know divorce is usually as a last resort. Like if things don't go well as you plan.
And yeah, in a lot of cases you be trying to prevent that there because that's even because it does create more drama there. I'm just saying from
Especially with the children. If you have children involved.
yes, yeah, there's that there. Yeah, so yeah, that yeah, much like on like if you're on the job there, you'll get wrote up first, or hey, stop doing that. They'll wrote up stuff like that, and they trying to avoid firing you.
Yeah.
Says, yeah, that's pretty drastic there.
I know it affects anyone. Losing a job, it does affect anyone.
Yep.
Physically and mentally.
Oh yeah.
As well as
Yeah.
emotionally. All three traits.
So it's kind of like what's going on with the dwarfs there. It's like yeah, they have that going on there.
Yeah.
So um yeah, they and I think and with the design, yeah, it really did make them pop for the live action forms there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the big heads and stuff.
Yeah, as for the guy who's supposed to be Snow White's prince slash
Oh
true
yeah.
love, I sense an Aladdin vibe because the part when he steals flew from the castle, I sense an Aladdin vibe. Plus, they also made him a rebel since he has a group.
So I think so. It's like they pretty much changed the supposed prince because they didn't really give the prince much of a character in the original animated movie. It was matter of fact, you have to. There are Google articles of a name for him,
Yes.
but most of the time, whenever you watch, like just watch the movie itself, you don't even you. If you just watch the movie itself, you wouldn't even know what his name was. The prince.
I guess the prince was just there in the animated Snow White. He's just there.
Sort of like one of the characters I once made.
And we don't know what his backstory was or or his parents.
See, that's another good thing about fleshing out in these remakes. There,
Yeah.
you look at that like, what was this prince like? Well, that's a good chance to give him a little something there. So, so in a way, they did sort of make him in charge. He was just over in charge of rebels there.
Yeah.
Um, I know you say an Aladdin vibe.
Well,
I
Aladdin mixed with Robin Hood.
Okay, that's a good
Aladdin
one.
mixed with
Robin Hood, that's a good example.
Steal from the rich to give to
Give
the
it the
poor.
poor because yeah, like say people were struggling and all that.
Yes, and you're trying to save them.
And in Aladdin's case, he was just trying to survive himself. Um, Also, another person that comes to my mind, but I would say more Aladdin than Robin Hood, but another person, just a little dash of Flynn Rider from Tangled,
Yes.
because he sort of had that charisma like Flynn Rider.
Yeah.
It just can't get my nose right.
Yeah. I also liked it when they protected Snow White and Snow White helped them fight the soldiers and stuff.
Oh yeah,
to prevent them from killing her.
yeah. Tell that. Don't y'all remember
Yeah.
different stuff that they remember and everything?
Yeah, and the animals were involved too of helping the fight.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the animals.
yeah. And they say you got all. Yep. So they yeah. She and then um but yeah, that was a good thing with the prince there to really to flesh out his character there.
Yeah.
And you do get like the poison apple, and he kisses her awake because at that point, but because he's fleshed out, you do get a build up of leading up to the point of him. Oh yeah, we kind of like each other.
Yeah.
True love's kiss there.
Yeah.
So you get at least some. You get 'cause you didn't really get much on much. Yeah, a lot of that was kind of thing with a lot of the early animated Disney movies. Like Snow White, Prince just shows up,
Yeah.
kisses her, she's awake, and they live happily ever after. Cinderella, she meets the prince at the ball. Like, wait, how will I? Like, what? I was like, how? Well, I don't even know your name. What will they find you?
And plus, the movies back then they were shorter, like less less than an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and the focus of how things went from point A to point B were very simplistic there.
Yeah.
Um, Now, of course, they did even before the live action remakes. They did. I give them credit. They did evolve some things over time. Like when you got, you still had the simplisticness of the early movies, but yeah, just a little bit more. It started. It wasn't 100%, but it was starting to change up some when they made like Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid kind of was starting to change a little bit. Great movie. Aladdin, I think, was an example because of how Jasmine was.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't want to be a princess anymore.
She doesn't want to be a normal girlfriend. Right?
Yeah,
And Aladdin wants to be rich.
because and in his case, it wasn't him being selfish. He just didn't want to be on the streets anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, having to steal to survive. Yeah, I want to be able to get some food.
Hmm.
So yeah, he was just trying to get survival there. But yeah, that was kind of a small step of evolution. Lion King pretty much making Hamlet with lions there.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course other movies that weren't like like Princess Poof there, Toy Story stuff like that there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were starting to sort of evolve a little bit even back then, but I think the live action remakes really became the game changer there.
And you know what's more amazing? When Dopey talked for the first time, and I
Mm,
think in the animated version, I don't know if he talked or not, since I don't remember too much of the animated version of Snow White.
Probably have to check it out again.
Yeah, but it is amazing that Dopey can talk now, and the other dwarfs were amazed that they started game and they started respecting him.
It's almost like when Mushmouth became able to talk in Fat Albert. It's
Yeah,
like we say bye, blah, that say balloon, 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 balloon. Like Mushmouth, you can talk.
and Dumb Dumb getting more intelligent that he has a face now.
And it looks like Marcus Houston.
Yeah, and I know his face was all covered up, but
Mhm.
when he started having knowledge and more intelligence now, he has a face. Like he has an identity now that I'm no
Mhm.
longer dumb.
Yep.
Like I could do anything.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was yeah, like I say, and it really the what Snow White's kindness really took an effect on the dwarves. Their understanding of things there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how and of course like you say, they all she put two and two together about the queen with her dad there.
yeah,
Yeah, it went all out. One thing, yeah, when it was pretty much Simba returning the scar.
And there was another scene when the dwarves and the rebels didn't get along with each other, and as Snow White teach them that we should like work together instead of being against each other, because that's what the king wants, being against one another. That's what the queen wants,
The
just
queen, yeah,
being against one another. So we should all just work together as one.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Unite as one.
United we stand instead of divided we fall.
Hmm. As Batman said, I will unite the league.
Yeah, and then after Snow White's example, both the rebels and the dwarfs starting to get along with one another, that they dance.
Hmm. Yep, and of course, it was a very interesting moment when Snow White faced the Queen 1-on-1,
Yeah,
and called her out and everything.
yeah.
The Queen made that sword appear. Okay, well, go on and do it.
Kill me.
Yeah.
I think she did that just makes Snow White look bad. Just makes Snow White look bad, just to kill her. Even though Snow White in her heart, she's not a killer.
And you know what? And you know another thing came to my mind with that just a few moments ago.
Yeah,
Thanos.
yeah,
You remember when he told Star Lord to kill? Because Gamora was like, "If something goes wrong, I want you to kill me." And Thanos tried to goat Star Lord into doing it. Like, she asked you. Go ahead. And when he did try to, well, Thanos made it turn to both. The reason I point that out because I mean, obviously, Snow White wasn't gonna, stoop down to that level. But if she actually did that, like just say if because Evil Queen killed my father, all
yeah.
these people, you ruined their lives, stuff like that. Just imagine if she gave in to the anger of all that.
Well, if she did, she would have some guilt.
Yeah, but there's another thing, reason why I brought up Thanos. Evil Queen, remember she created that. She just created that sword.
Yeah,
So what would stop the Evil Queen from, if Snow White went through with it, from making it disappear?
hmm.
She probably would have done that. Or now it is possible she might would have let it happen, possibly to show what's Snow White, but then of course she probably wouldn't have much chance of surviving that. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe she probably would have just made the sword disappear and maybe made some kind of illusion like she got stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make Snow White look bad.
Yeah.
So that I think that's why it kind of made me think of Thanos from Infinity War.
Yeah.
Uh, but of course, the Queen does do herself in, being so upset with the mirror that she shatters it and she's sucked into the mirror.
And there's also the part when Snow White told the soldier brought back the soldier's memories. Like you like remember that you were a baker and then you were a farmer, that you had families.
Almost like Yugi trying to get through to Joey when he's under marriage control.
Yes. It's like getting them out of mind control.
Like, get out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they all say, I remember.
Yep. Sort of like they came out the sunken place.
Like we all remember now.
Yep.
And I know all these people were unhappy with Evil Queen's rule. They were all unhappy. And the color faded away. Would have been cool if these things were all completely black and white.
Talking about
The when the people were in Evil Queen's control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the townspeople. And they were all sad.
Or if not black and white, maybe like a different color palette that would match the emotion of depression or sadness or even the rage of the queen there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe or even like like the colors that the queen wears.
Yeah.
Just imagine a color palette kind of matching with the queen's wear.
Yeah.
Sort of like that maybe.
Yeah. And her and Snow White's colors popped out when she entered the town.
Oh yeah.
It popped out.
Mm-hmm. yeah, she and the scene got them all together there.
Yeah. And there was more, and there was more people than Snow Queen's, than the Snow Queen's, well, the Evil Queen's
Evil.
army.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like yeah, Evil Queen did something with that mirror, much simpler to. Oh my friend, I yeah with Scar and the hyenas there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least there's no physical fighting involved between the Evil Queen and Snow White. A physical fight.
yeah, I know some. I know there was concern about that there until it when it before it came out there
Yeah.
because of the advertisements.
Yeah. I know the Evil Queen had enough that she just broke the mirror, and she shouldn't have done that. That led to her demise.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't smash EJ in the mirror.
Uh-oh.
As like it's get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once she was turned into dust, she was sucked into the mirror, and then the mirror turned back to normal.
Oh boy.
With as Snow White looked at her reflection,
So we don't know if if she's just like in a mirror dimension or what, man.
or if she just literally passed.
If she passed away, then I guess it'd be like Mother Gothel when she turned to dust.
Yeah. And all was left is her cloak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing left.
Mm. So, yeah. So they restore the kingdom, of course. Everybody back. And then of course, yeah, they do have the marriage between her and the prince there.
We don't know if they got married or not. Maybe they still trying to know each other.
I think so.
Yeah. Either still trying to know each other or just in the engagement stage, like the live action Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. That could
Yeah.
be. Because I knew the last scene they were all wearing white to celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah. I think white represents hope.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh, because
As
of
well as
light
peace.
and light.
Well, hope and peace.
The light of peace or hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
At least everybody was happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Says Snow Queen. It says I'm a Snow,
Evil.
not Snow Queen. I'm a Snow White is officially the queen of the kingdom.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
Say Snow Queen, almost like you think of the Frozen.
Yeah. It is a long day.
Interesting, since you point that out. Originally Elsa from Frozen. Originally, she was supposed to be the villain.
Oh, she was.
Yeah. But the movie made it where she couldn't control her powers, and that's why she ran off when they found out.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to be left in peace there. But then there was the conflict of the kingdom being in an eternal winter and having to fix it, but she didn't know how to fix it though.
Oh.
So it was but in the original story, Elsa pretty much was the one that dealt her parents in with her powers.
Oh.
And yeah, she was pretty much the villain there.
Oh, she was.
With her powers at all. So yeah, that's oh yeah. Like I say, overall, yes, Snow White really. Oh yeah, definitely you gotta go check that out. Be kind.
Yes.
And yeah, no, I said in the mini live action remakes.
Yeah.
Like okay, so I'm so now Snow White was the main one, yeah.
yeah.
So with the others, yeah, that cause we be here all night trying to go through the whole movie of all the remakes.
Yeah, I know there are some remakes that we haven't seen, like Dumbo, for example.
Oh yeah,
as well as live action.
and Jungle Book.
Yeah, and Lady and the Tramp, which wasn't on Disney Plus, but it did not get theatrical reviews.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So of the ones we've seen, probably I'm gonna. Okay, so Cinderella was a real good movie, and as we just stated, Snow White seemed like took a lot from Cinderella. But Cinderella was really good. Way it was portrayed, much like Snow White, they did. They fleshed out the relationship between her and the prince a little more.
Yes.
So it wasn't just because I think, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't talk, but he didn't seem like he had very many lines there.
Talking about the Princess Cinderella.
Other than
Talking about animated or live action.
animated,
Oh,
almost, yeah, like he didn't have most of his lines was when the slipper fell off or when they were singing there.
at least with the live action, they gave him
Yep,
more to say and do.
yeah, because they even had a moment of talking to each other, and she didn't even know she was talking to the prince.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of like the whole Aladdin not knowing that Jasmine was the princess.
Yeah, one thing about adaptations, like they made some changes from the original.
To flesh it out, yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be exactly like the original.
Yep. So so Cinderella was really good. Um, Beauty and the Beast. I don't hate it as much as I did when it first came out, and I actually did see it. I don't hate it as much. Furniture's still creepy though. Yeah,
Yes.
they should have done something with the animation for the furniture, but other than that, it had some potential where there were some good scenes in it, like the climax scene with him and Gaston,
Yeah.
and some of the chemistry moments between Beauty and Beast were kind of fun, like when Beast had got hurt and you know, well, this was all and they had that little kind of banter with each other
Yes.
there.
And it was funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it was some good. Yeah, like I say, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like there was no good in it there, but then there was the whole thing. There was, I say it's good to change some things, but not everything. They Something that they should not have changed was Beast giving Belle the room and treating her to dinner.
Yeah.
Instead a whole bunch of the time it's the furniture, and it's like a long time before Beast even shows humility.
Yeah.
But in the animated movie, yeah, Beast was very aggressive and everything. But when Belle first offered to, like, hey, just take me and let my father go, please. And Beast actually had some started to have some remorse seeing, Belle's sadness, but she was still willing because she just wanted her father to be free.
Yeah.
And she was willing to, do what Beast asked her to do in his castle.
Yeah.
And so he had some he owned that was starting to make him feel remorseful, and to the point where he still kept her for a while, like she said, but he didn't put her in the dungeon though.
Mm.
Yeah, like, this is a special. Here, this will be your room. It's say to keep you comfortable.
Mm.
And the dinner, yeah, the dishes were involved, but they had Beast come up there to try to get him to be more kind there.
Yes.
That and he was developing that kindness, but Beauty and the Beast, the live action, he sort of does it, but they take away a lot of the development scenes that he had in the animated version, where it, it's not as you don't get to see as much of his development in action there.
Mm.
And then, like the scene when it's a, like with the flower, it's like you could have cursed us all.
Yeah.
Of course, the PG live action version, they said the D word there.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I didn't have a problem with that there, PG, whatever.
Hmm.
The thing I had a problem with was the energy.
Yes. Like they have a lack of emotion. Like where's the emotion?
Yeah, his tone came off more like make me think of the animated Aladdin movie when the Sultan was like uh they scolding him about, as far as he knew, the prisoner being beheaded.
Yeah.
You discussed the sentencing of prisoners with me before they all beheaded. My apologies, your son. It won't happen again.
Like it's like their heart's not in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Their heart's not feeling it in the movie.
Well, and that now what I'm actually pointing out is not the lack of heart for that. it's the tone. I mean, because you think of it like this: if our kid, if our kid had ran past the hallway, like we said, don't be running in this house,
Yeah.
and they did that, and they end up crashing something there.
Ooh.
Yeah, right, like not and something causing something to break.
Yeah.
So yeah, the way the Sultan scolded Jafar is pretty much like it's energy in it, but it's like the tone of you telling a kid not to okay, now stop that running because I don't want you to break nothing else in this house. You understand?
Mm.
Back, don't do that again.
Mm.
Pretty much like that, but Jafar just had somebody beheaded.
Mm.
That's not exactly like breaking a flower vase there. Yeah, that's like bad, Jafar. Don't do that again.
Mm.
Like, so yeah, but that's what I was getting when Beast reacted about the flower in the live action movie.
Yeah.
Like it was just, what are you doing? Don't you realize you're gonna
Mm.
curse us all? Get out of here!
What?
That's
Where's the energy?
like uh, this is the animated version. That's G-rated. Language for the kids. Like, do you realize what you could have done? You could have cursed us all. Get out of here!
Oh yeah, that's more emotion. That's more energy. I can feel it in that one.
Oh yeah.
And Belle just ran out.
Yep, and of course because like you say, yeah, you all up in her face and everything, but yeah, you were angry. We felt that. We felt that more in the kid form than we did the live action. So yeah, Beauty and the Beast was just kind of weak in its remake. There
Yeah.
had potential, but it was weak.
Yeah.
Um, the live action Little Mermaid, great. That was great.
More like excellent.
Yes, and I'm not exactly completely sure how the king had those mixed races of daughters, but
Well, if they're in
okay,
the underwater kingdom.
yeah, it does make you. I mean, I don't know, maybe because some people speculate that he maybe had different wives, more than one wife there.
Yeah.
However, I mean it's seven of them.
Yeah.
So my assumption is that maybe it could because there I remember I think I may have mentioned this even to EJ once. There has been rare cases. It happened years ago in the news.
Yeah.
African American family, both man and woman, they had an African American child,
Yeah.
but then they had another child by birth that came out Caucasian,
Mm.
and that was it was very unusual there. So maybe if that it's rare, but if that happened in the real world, it's possible to believe that these seven children in this fictional magical realm could have possibly came that I don't know what the race of his wife was there, but it's possible that she could have had different ethnicities coming out of her.
Mm.
Which, I would think that like mermaids would merfolk in general or any magical being that's human
Yeah.
like or even like Kryptonians that look human like Superman probably would not really be concerned about race like we do here on Earth because it's like they might not even be thinking in that mode. They got their different. They appear as different ethnicities of Earthlings, but they probably don't really think much about that.
Oh yeah.
Possibly because yeah, let's say, but overall, yeah, real good. I really, again, I really did not like people complaining about this. I know they got your opinion, but it was really irritating some of the passionate hate that and almost in a way trying to force it on people.
Yeah.
Like, don't you go stop these Disney live action remakes? Got to stop. See, now you're taking it too far. If you don't like it, that's fine. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, who are you to tell Disney what not to make?
Mm.
Who are you? What executive power do you have over Disney over Walt Disney Studios.
Hmm.
None whatsoever. So
At least they don't say nothing negative about the Avengers movies. They just keep on going because people like them.
most of them, yes,
Yes, most of the Avenger movies.
and most of the people
Yeah,
are,
the
yeah,
people.
yeah. So yeah, it's like that. Yeah, you so yeah, it was kind of interesting with the mermaids of different ethnicities there. Um,
As
then
well as taking place in a different country. The live action Little Mermaid took place in the Caribbean, while the original Little Mermaid took place in Denmark.
let's see.
Yeah,
So yeah, with so yeah, that was Little Mermaid turned out great. Some of the stuff like they added Prince Eric having a song there.
yeah.
Come find me. Um, some extra songs with Ariel, stuff like that. It was
As
pretty.
well as Prince Eric with some parents,
Oh yes, yes, that was a nice little something to add there.
mainly just a mom.
Mm-hmm. So he was adopted into the family there.
Yeah.
Um, and interesting that they made, Eric still was Caucasian, but they made the mom African American.
Huh.
That was a kind of a little good way to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which so you had that there. Live action Lion King, like I say, really good. Only one nitpick that I could even think of, but it's not harming the movie. Um, James Earl Jones' performance as Mufasa, he does a great job in both the animated and the live action, but I just noticed and I don't and maybe it might have something to do with his age there,
Yeah.
but this is the animated Mufasa's voice. Uh, every yes, let me explain. When we die, our bodies become the grass, and the animals eat the grass. And here's live action. Don't turn your back on me, Scar. Like, is that a challenge? He does now. Is not he's not lacking energy. It's just his voice is coming out differently there. That's all. That's basically the only nitpick there. Cause I was kind of looking for say, that's very good.
Even
Yeah, like
though
that big boom voice.
even though we haven't seen Mufasa, well, the live action movie Mufasa, I hope James Earl Jones did reprise his role in Mufasa before he passes away. Before he passed away.
Actually, I mean, it's possible, but I think that might be because it's supposed to be Mufasa when he was younger.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, they might have had somebody else in casting.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hopefully like a prequel to the Lion King.
Or maybe did a small cameo.
Maybe. You never
Who
know.
knows? Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, I know the main part of the movie was like young Mufasa growing up.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely gotta check that out there. Yeah. Um, Also you had Aladdin. Oh, okay, we did. Yeah, Aladdin was real great live action there. Let's say, yeah, I think it looked like they made Jafar a lot younger than he was in the animated version.
Yes.
Um, I guess. Which I guess obviously they probably weren't gonna have much luck finding a guy built like Jafar the animated there.
Yes, I know he was scrawny.
Especially, I think that old man costume he had.
Yeah.
I think that's what he really looked like without all his fancy robes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just how he looked without the robes there,
Yeah.
like that old man.
Hmm.
So, of course, they had Will Smith as the genie. Did a real good job making it his own. Sort of gave it that Fresh Prince vibe there.
Yeah.
Um, and even going into depth about not only just the wishes, but even, relate, the Aladdin Jasmine relation there.
Yeah.
Went to real deep depth with that. Pinocchio was really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Too bad they didn't get theatrical release.
yeah, I think it was like what
2022, I guess.
Okay. I guess maybe they just didn't feel like it was gonna make big in the theaters for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was still good. I watched it on when we might probably have to get it back at some point in the future. But when we had Disney Plus, yeah, we watched that movie Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and again, like I say, I know Pinocchio is a CGI effect, but they still a great job with the shadows and reflections there.
Yeah.
Um, now, and of course, see, okay, it was Lion King. Okay, it's on reflect. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, what else was it? Oh yeah, we saw of the recent remakes. There.
I know. I know they had Maleficent.
Yeah, now I said Cinderella. I mean not Cinderella, but Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, Maleficent. No.
And their main focus is just Maleficent herself instead of Sleeping Beauty. It would have
Yeah,
been nice if Sleeping Beauty has her own live action movie.
yeah, it should after that. Because like I say, that's the if you do a remake, yeah, um, you got to make sure you at least have a good amount of screen time with your main star.
And it's also surprising that Maleficent got a sequel, which is surprising.
Like really?
So you did a movie about the villain?
Mm, yeah. So,
I would understand with Loki,
oh yeah,
but not Maleficent.
he sort of tend to change sides there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'd rather see a movie about Loki's origin than Maleficent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that remake of Pinocchio really good. Uh, and then of course, let's see there. Okay, then of course we do have some we. Oh yeah, Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, oh wait, no. I take it because it was just the animated. That's all. But
Yeah.
they do have other adaptations of this, several.
Yeah.
Um, but one, but yeah, yeah. Let's see. Of course, the remakes that are soon to come. Um, got high hopes with Lilo and Stitch there.
Yes.
They Lilo and Stitch is coming. The there's talk about a live action Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Also talk about an Aladdin sequel, Return to Jafar.
And there might be talks about a live action Little Mermaid sequel.
Oh yeah,
More like a possibility.
to continue into
Yes.
the Prince and Eric's there.
Yeah.
Eric and
Eric.
Yeah, Eric.
More like a possibility.
Yep. So so the Jungle Book. None that I really, as far as from Disney, there. They may let's see. Try to think one around here that's coming out there.
Mm-hmm. Would have been nice if Sleeping Beauty did have a live action.
Oh yeah, we could have. We probably could have even like had bits of it, just like not the whole movie, but like bits of it there.
Maybe one day they might do a live action Princess and a Frog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one day. Oh yeah, Mulan.
Yes, Mulan was Mulan really turned out great. It's very now Mulan actually has the most differences
Yeah.
between its live action and animated counterpart. One of the biggest differences, Mushu is a phoenix instead of a talking dragon by Eddie Murphy. Phoenix that doesn't say anything.
And I think that was the first live action remake that has a PG-13 rating because of the war.
Oh yeah.
The war violence.
Mm-hmm. And it's like wondering where she went and everything. And she act when and that was when the queen put two and two together. Found out, so white is the fairest of all.
Yes.
So yeah, that so yeah, Lauren was really good. The whole warrior
Yeah.
aspect there. And they say the Lego. She loves the samurai stuff there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Rioni Kitchen. I mean, I can just, wait, we talking about Disney,
Yeah.
Disney. Okay, Mulan. Sorry, and that was the wrong country too. Mulan, China, then the Rioni Kitchen, Japan.
Yes.
So yeah, Mulan, and there is Jungle Book, but we never did get to see it. But it did. It has. We know it's out there. Just have to get
Yeah.
around to getting it there.
Yes.
With that, as well as also the Jungle Book. There is talk about Emperor's New Groove as a live action movie.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's like yeah. There's it's kind. It might be. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with if it gets greenlit, what they would do with live action Emperor's New Groove there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of make wonder how they would make the donkey look there.
Yeah. Would have been cool if they also have a live action Tangled and Brave as well as Frozen
Oh yeah.
live action remakes.
Hmm.
I know it'll be a while for us to see them, depending on if they thought about doing them or not.
Hmm. So, but yeah, that would be what's kind of what we've little briefing of live action movies and what's still to come in the Disney line of them there.
Yes.
So yeah, like I say, anything else you want to say on this?
Let's just say overall, the entire Snow White movie as a whole, I like the special effects, the CGI, as well as the uses of color and diversity, and
Oh yeah.
the lesson of kindness, patience, faith, courage, as well as respecting one another and working together. Yeah, overall it is completely good, despite the native controversy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about that.
but I don't care about that.
Yeah, especially giving the actors a hard time too.
Yeah,
Like
like you
really,
don't give her a chance.
yeah. Like I say,
She didn't do nothing wrong. She was just playing an important role.
yeah, and the intense hate for just the live action movies in general. Like I say, yes, we got some of them. Like I say, Beauty and the Beast did not really was not really too well. It kind of had the potential, but it wasn't completely good. And then of course, like you said, Maleficent. Why that does not? Yeah, because I mean, yeah, you best pretty much so you've taken the Sleeping Beauty story, but made it more.
Focusing on Maleficent.
Yeah, and trying to get her into sympathetic and everything too.
I don't remember if we saw only just the first film,
Of
Maleficent.
I don't no I don't recall seeing it there
Um,
because it like I said yeah just about the and then her apparently the Sleeping Beauty's parents were evil there.
yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but yeah, there's that, and let's see if there's nothing else, and
Yeah,
there's nothing else. Then I guess we close to 2 hours there, but
hmm.
like I say, yeah, but I think that's pretty much gonna be it for the night there. Yeah, definitely before we close out, make sure y'all definitely hit us, say like, share, subscribe. Definitely, excuse me, get our available books, like especially Yumiko 3 coming out and everything. And also, definitely support us on that Patreon, just like AJ the Supreme, Big Sis Casey, Nice Man Universe. Also, hang out with us just, on Discord, Facebook, just like you hang out with us here. And also to sell you some stuff on that McCary app. So uh all that said, that say, well, cut, print, that's a wrap.
Hmm.
And whistle while you work.
Yes.
And be is the and don't wait too long on the miracle there.
Don't wait too long.
Right. They say, I know they say patience is a virtue, but yeah, you don't want to overdo the wait there. As a man and God have your miracle sitting there like, hey, the miracles in,
Yep.
and you're out and you're in your own world still waiting.
Or your miracle finally came when you got really old.
All that.
Yeah, when you got old.
Mm,
So I waited so many years and my miracle finally came.
yeah. Yeah, but so yeah, so we're signed out for now. So y'all do all that what I mentioned earlier, and we will see y'all in the next video. I'll be doing the Bible reading tomorrow as well as Thursday talking about birthday history. So hope to see you in one of those there or both. See you later, everybody.
All right, bye everyone.